Alright, so I'm gonna make a proof of concept video. I guess that's what they're called. I'm gonna show the computer again, and I'm gonna show me backing off the timing on an RPM based map only. Now I'm gonna test out the map sensor as well, see if it reads any boost on the OBD Link app, and if it does, well, that's a bonus. So I won't have to buy a boost gauge right away. I'll be able to just look at it on my phone. And based on, I want to make this part of the video again because I made a very flimsy alternator bracket. I only did that as a temporary setup because I was gonna move the car around, idle it, and I was being lazy. It was just a straight 90 from there and there, but I missed the power steering pump, and that other bracket that I made was very flimsy, so that had to go. Reason for that being is that I was very lazy and didn't want to modify a manifold. But I guess I got off the couch and modified the manifold. What's really good about these cast steel manifolds, and well, they're easy to weld. You can cut them up any way you want and weld them, and they're good. They're good and solid. You can see the routing. Might have to make a heat shield for that, but that can wait. Right now I'm gonna set the timing to 10 degrees and then go take it out for a drive. See if I can collect some data. But I'm not gonna get on it too bad because, as you can see, it's not even referenced yet. Like I said, if it blows up or detonates or whatever, I don't really give a shit. Just want to hear some boost. The bracket I had for when the car was NA, just so you can see, it's all mediocre. Yeah, it's all very mediocre. The whole turbo build was kind of poorly executed. Because, you know, I've done a lot of these vortex swaps, but it's my first turbo build, so it's all really sloppy, but it'll work out. I'm pretty sure it will. So let's go. Alright, this video is going to be for entertainment purposes only. You know, obviously follow at your own risk, because I will not be responsible if you blow your shit up because you can't follow a simple YouTube video. So I'm going to keep this sweet and simple. Now, first of all, the car is turbocharged now, and it has a GT45. So for what I need to do, what I want is at 3,200 RPM, before it starts making boosts, I want it to be changed to 10 degrees. Now, your build may vary, whether you're running twin turbos, or whether you're running an S7875, or whatever the hell it may be. Do your research, and then maybe you can apply it to maybe you can apply this video to your own build. But I'm going to say this now, changing optimal timing, minimum spark advance, and engine protection mode, changing those three items alone is not going to really change the timing. So everything that's related to RPM and ignition timing does have to be changed, and they all have to be matched in order for there to be any kind of effect on the timing. So like I said, for me, 3,200 RPM all the way to redline at 10 degrees. That's just what I'm running at 93 octane, because I'm not going to be on the dyno anytime soon. If I ever do get to be on the dyno, I'm going to see what kind of effects I can get, or what kind of performance gains I can have by adding ignition timing. But just to be safe, the car's just a cruiser, and maybe it'll hit the track eventually. So 10 degrees is what I'm going to be running at. Obviously, you got to decide, and you got to figure out what you need to run. But I already did this. I'm just going to go through the changes. I'm just going to go through the changes with you guys so you can see what I did. But I didn't film this part earlier after it's already uploaded in the car. I did rev it up to 6,000 RPM with the car just sitting there. And it does go to 10 degrees, and it does stay to where I have it set at. I know it's stupid, but I'm the one taking these risks. That way we can use the computer that came with our pull-out engines. It just doesn't make sense to spend $500 to $600 on an ignition box when, you know, when you literally have a computer right there that comes with it. And that's why I'm doing this. I'm willing to take the risks. That way, you know, we can find a way to do some things differently. So I'm going to hit continue now, and I'm going to go through the changes. So all the action happens in the spark table. I know in the last video that I made on this topic, I said coolant temp sensor, the coolant temp spark multiplier. You can mess with that NA, but with boost or even NA, I click that box and it highlights everything, and then I put it to 0. I put it to 0, and then I saved it, because you really have to know what you're doing. If you just want to keep it purely RPM based, that's what I would do. So I zeroed that out, and I just never fucked with it. So base, spark, and neutral. Now this one only goes up to 3200 to 4800 RPM. Like I said, you need to figure out what your safe zone is going to be, like at what RPM you want to start dropping ignition timing. But what I want again is 3200 RPM all the way down to redline, and I want it at 10 degrees. Like I said, that's just me. And yes, it has to be all of it, just to be sure. Execute, fill with value and then execute and whatever you want your timing to be. Now, it does have to be all the way down because you don't have to mess with volumetric efficiency. But as you can see, this row down here is all, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe this is grams per cylinder. So that's kind of why I'm assuming this is the way I know it works, by highlighting this all. So I'm going to save this. Then I'm going to go to sparking gear, and I'm going to do the same thing for the values that I want. 3200 RPM all the way to 4800. I'm going to hit execute, and then I'm going to hit save. Optimal timing. This is what it's always going to refer to because this one goes all the way to 8000 RPM. So that's what the computer is actually going to refer to most of the time. Execute. It highlights red and lets you know that you did make those changes, and then you're going to save. It's the minimum spark advance. So it's never going to let it go below these values. So it's very important that you match these up. So again, 10 degrees, because obviously, no matter what changes you make to the other one, it's never going to let it go below these. So it's very important that you match them all up. So again, as you can see, here's a 2D map, 2D table, excuse me. And then it shows you how it goes. So I'm going to save that. And then engine protection mode is if the computer ever decides to go limp, it's going to default to this table, and whatever the ignition timing is here is what it's going to be. So that's why I say it's very important that you match up these tables. Spark timing when cranking. Now, if you're watching this video for the first time, go to my YouTube channel, and you can see the very first video I made on this topic. Now, obviously, watch both videos because I make some corrections here from the other video. So it's important to watch both of them just so you can kind of get an idea of how this works. So year round, no matter what the engine, the coolant temperature was, I always had it at 13 degrees and it always fired. So you go to File, Save Bin As. And I'm going to save it as YouTube demo, as you can see, because I made this video a whole bunch of times now, but just wasn't happy with it. So I'm redoing it now. I guess I would like to replace it. Obviously, you can call it whatever you want. Anyways, after you save it, you're going to get this error message, and it always happens no matter what. But I know it does, it saves it, but just what I recommend everybody doing, open up the bin file that they just saved and go through each and every table that you touched and make sure that it is where you set it at. So I'm just waiting for this. Hit continue. And we're going to go through the spark table. And then we're going to go through everything we touched. So base, spark, and neutral, or park. As you can see, it is to what I set it at. Next, I'm going to go in gear. Again, to what I set it at. It did save. Optimal timing. It's always important to double check. And then minimum spark advance. Matches. Engine protection mode. It also matches. So in the next clip, I'm going to show you how to actually upload it. You do need an OBD link that plugs into the connection, that plugs into the OBD port for the actual GM PCM. And you're going to use that to actually confirm your timing with the OBD link app. It also doubles as a digital dash, with a cheap Android tablet. And that also works to actually uploading this calibration to the actual computer. So, and you're going to need PCM Hammer for that. And in the next clip, I actually show you how to use it. But for now, I just want to touch more on the clip that comes after that. Like I said earlier, I did rev it up to 6,000 RPM, and it did stay at 10 degrees just the way I said it. I didn't get any video of that, unfortunately, but when I am going to show you a clip of the car actually driving, and I do have the map sensor, the intake manifold pressure, and it never shows positive pressure, unfortunately, so I'm guessing that just doesn't work. But I am going to, so we're just going to ignore that part and only focus on RPM and the ignition timing on cylinder number 1. And the coolant temp sensor is, the coolant temp sensor gauge is actually on there as well. But with that being said, it's kind of like, I'm only going to take it up to 4,000 RPM because, nothing is referenced, and I just wanted to confirm that my again, confirm and show that my ignition timing did change after 3200 RPM. But in the actual video, I only hit up to 4000 RPM. And that's it. That should be proof enough, just so you can kind of get excited for this. And, you know, maybe one day you might want to try this as well. Or at least NA, because it does work. And like I said, it's free. So right now I'm going to show the next clips. And yeah, let's go. Going to be PCM hammer. Takes about less than 3 minutes to upload a file. I know it's sunny out, so you might not be able to see the screen, but hopefully you can kind of make it out. Then you just hit select device. Obviously turn the key forward, make sure nothing else is running, no radio is running, no lights are on. Select device, just hit OK, and it looks for it. PCM hammer scan tool, and then you want to write calibration. It gives you warning signs, obviously, if your battery sucks or whatever, if it, you know, you might kill your computer. You know, the risks we take for race cars. And you look for the one you're going to upload. Mine is revision first boost. That's how I saved it. Continue. Now it's going to write the kernel, but the issue here is I'm going to confirm my timing. The way I'm going to do that is through the OBD link, so I'm just going to sit here and rev it up to 3200 RPM, and I'm hoping that it does go down. It does go down to 10 degrees. Because I already did this and I only messed with the first 3. And there was no change, so hopefully with that it'll change it to 10 degrees. But apart from that then I'm just gonna have to go back and look for some more stuff. So right now I'm just gonna let it write. It should take about 2 minutes 15 seconds, so I'm just gonna pause the video here. This part doesn't really take that long. As you can see, we're 50 seconds left. And I don't know what happened the first time. I mean, I tried putting it all to 10 degrees, but it was only the first 3 tables. So maybe this thing is really picky. With all the things I mentioned in the first video are probably what need to be done. But apart from this, and I'm just going to have to keep digging. Because if it doesn't go back down to 10 degrees, then we might have an issue. But all the engine coolant temperature tables, all that extra crap, it's all zeroed out. You know, and the cool thing about this is you don't have to mess with a volumetric efficiency table at all. Essentially, the computer knows that it thinks that the injectors may or may not be firing. So there is that. So I sure hope this will let me go to 10 degrees, but we're about to find out right now. Fuel pump is priming. And that should be it. I'm assuming that's it. It says flash successful, clearing code, elapsed time 2 minutes 37 seconds. So I'm gonna close this now. And then I'm gonna shut the key off. Shut the key off. I'm gonna close this. Then I'm gonna start the vehicle. Alright, now I'm gonna put on the OBD link and I'm gonna confirm timing, and then I'm gonna go for a drive.